Good afternoon, Daquan Taylor. All right, you are muted, so I'll have to have you unmute. Can you hear me, sir? Okay, I can't hear you. You are still muted. You need to unmute your audio, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I sure can. Sir, your
Okay.
matter is scheduled for a pretrial conference this afternoon. Have you had an opportunity to meet with the city attorney yet?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Okay, so you do not have counsel, and so you need to meet with Ms. Dawson. She represents the city of Kentwood, and she is available through Zoom. She's probably meeting with somebody else right now. When she comes back, I will place you into a breakout room with her so that she can meet with you and discuss your matter, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll leave you
Awesome.
muted until then. Ms. Buswa, what matter are you here on?
Good afternoon. I'm here on Isaiah Williams.
All right, and is your client with us?
I was hoping he would be.
Well, let's pull that file. Looking at my Zoom screen, I don't see anyone identifying themselves as Isaiah Williams. We could inquire in the hallway. Look, would you be willing? Is it Lakeisha or Laquisha?
Lakeisha.
Lakeisha. Would you be willing to go out into the hallway and ask if there is an Isaiah Williams? Thank you.
I don't see anybody out there.
No? Oh, no.
We're here, and that's about it.
And what matter are you here on?
I'm here on this ball.
Mr. Buck.
Yeah. Pretty proud.
All right. And have you spoken with Ms. Dawson?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna, and when I do, I can already tell the court, I'm gonna need another date to just deliver the videos to me at 11 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
There's many hours of them.
All right. Well, I'm sure that we can accommodate that. I'm going to send her a chat right now that she needs to pop into this Zoom room. She operates her own as well to discuss matters.
Oh, you just gonna bring her in right here?
We'll just place that on the record if that's what we need to do.
Okay, well, she's not aware of that yet, but
Have you gotten in?
He's not present. There's one person waiting right now.
Okay. Well, do you need to have a private conversation with her, or can we just put it on the record that you just got the discovery and you want time to review it? I'd be happy to do either.
yeah, why don't we just do that? I'll email her about it later.
Okay.
We can just do it now.
All right, so she's probably meeting with someone in her own Zoom room. So if you just want to have a seat, I'll let you know when she comes back in here, and then we'll call the case.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Buswa, I do not have Isaiah Williams. His matter was scheduled at 1:45. All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Isaiah Williams, case number 21-50008OM. This matter is scheduled for a pretrial this afternoon. Attorney Denise Buswa appears on behalf of Mr. Williams, but Mr. Williams does not appear to be present in the courtroom or on Zoom. Have you spoken with him prior to today, Ms. Buswa?
The last time I spoke to him was right after the last pretrial conference. I have sent him 2 emails asking him to contact me, but I have not heard from him.
All right, the court notes that this is a disorderly conduct charge, and looking at the register of actions, I don't immediately see any previous failures to appear. Given that this is not an assaultive crime, I don't have necessary concerns about public safety. I will order him to show cause, and we will schedule a hearing on that for, well, what is our next city pretrial date?
Well, that's the ones we're scheduling for now.
For our orders to show cause?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
We'll get you a date right now, Ms. Buswell. This is pursuant to the new legislation that became effective on April 1st. It's fun. 4/26? All right, we will send that out. For 26/21 at, we set those at 1:30? At 1:30, Ms. Buswa.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And if he appears, we'll give you a call.
Yes, please.
All right, nice to see you.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks. I just saw Miss Vandermeer on my screen and now she's gone? She's back in the waiting room. Good afternoon. You are Blake Vandermeer?
Yes.
All right. The court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Blake Elizabeth Vandermeer, case number 21-50153OT. Ma'am, I'm Judge Sterkenburg. It looks as though when you were here for arraignment, you waived your right to court-appointed counsel. Your matter was set for a pretrial conference today, so you met with the city attorney on your own. The court has received a statement that indicates if you pay your tickets and get your license reinstated, they will reduce the misdemeanor charge of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied to the civil infraction of impeding traffic, and they will dismiss the remaining charges, which looks like you had a couple of civil infractions, so they will dismiss those. Is that the bargain that you discussed with Miss Dawson today?
Yes, it is. And I had paid everything and my license and everything was already been reinstated.
All right,
So-
I am in receipt of a Secretary of State driving record that indicates as of April 13, your license is valid, so congratulations.
Thank you. I thought it was sooner than that, but because I did it on like the 9th. So,
Well, it may have been on the 9th or 10th. It's
okay.
dated yesterday. That's when we ran it.
oh, okay. I apologize.
No, that's fine. I'm pleased that you are back in the realm of legal driver. Is it your choice then to accept this offer being
Yes.
extended by the city attorney? Yes.
I'm sorry it cut out. Could you repeat that?
That's okay. I think maybe sometimes when you Zoom, people get talking over each other. So it's your choice today then to accept the bargain being offered by the city attorney and enter a plea to the impeding traffic civil infraction?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And ma'am, if you tender a plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind on the driving with your license suspended charge. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, and it's your choice then to voluntarily waive those rights and proceed to enter a plea to the impeding traffic charge.
Yep.
Did anyone threaten you or promise you anything above and beyond what was stated on the record in terms of the bargain in order to get you to enter a guilty plea today?
No.
All right, then ma'am, as to the offense of impeding traffic, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood on or around March 8th of this year?
Yes.
And at that date and time, ma'am, was your driver's license suspended, revoked, or denied?
Yes.
All right. I do find a sufficient factual basis, and I will accept your guilty plea. Is there anything else that you'd like the court to take into consideration before I impose sentence?
I mean, I paid everything. I wasn't aware that I had a suspended license, so, but I took care of everything.
It looks like you did, and I am pleased with that, ma'am, and it's likely the reason Ms. Dawson gave you such a bargain. It's always this court's goal that we have licensed drivers, and so I will assess fines and costs only in this matter. They total $240. I'm going to move you into a breakout room with my cashier where you can make payment or payment.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. Miss Dawson, are you able to hear me?
I was just emailing.
She bounces back and forth.
Your Honor, are you waiting for me?
I am. It's nice to see you. Not only that, but Attorney Mead is waiting for you as well.
So I understand. I just read his email. I apologize. I was meeting with other people in my other Zoom room.
Well, don't you know, we expect you to be in 3 places at once.
That's how I feel. Wednesdays are my day where I am miraculously in multiple places at once.
Well, you are an attorney of many talents, so we appreciate that. I'm going to turn on our Polycom. All right. Do you see Mr. Mead waving at you?
I do. Hello, Mr. Mead. It's been a while.
All right. The court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Matthew David Buck, case number 21-50080OD. This matter is scheduled for a pretrial conference this afternoon. Mr. Mead appears on behalf of Mr. Buck, and Ms. Dawson is here on the City of Kentwood, and I understand we need a second date in this matter. Mr. Mead?
I would ask one for one round. We went from City of Kentwood this morning, hours long. I'm still waiting for the video from City of Wyoming as well. Case did within 2 days of Thursday. So I do like to do a little more time.
All right, Ms. Dawson, any objection to setting this for a second pretrial?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, and that is what we will do in this matter. We'll generate a notice. Mr. Mead, if you want to wait for that, we can probably get it for you today. And I have a couple of people waiting for you here, Ms. Dawson. I have DeQuan Taylor, who is on Zoom. And so I need to move you into a breakout room with him. After that, I have present in the courtroom Antonio Jones, who I'll move into conference room 4 or courtroom A or wherever is available.
Okay, and would you like a pretrial statement for the Buck matter?
Yes, Miss Lindsay is going to want one at your convenience.
Okay, I'll send it right over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danielle.
All right, well, nice to see you live and in person, Mr. Mead.
Yeah.
All right, appearing on my screen, phone number ending in 3839. Can you unmute and identify yourself for the court, please?
My name is Chantel Higgins.
Chantel Higgins?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Higgins, have you met with the city prosecutor today, Ms. Dawson?
I'm sitting in your lobby because I can't get into court. No, I haven't met with anybody. The last judge I met with knew my grandma had passed away and what day I would be back. And he still kept my court on the same day, which I don't have a vehicle. I walked up here and now I have to sit here and wait or walk back in the cold.
I'm sorry, where are you, ma'am? Did you say that you were in the courthouse lobby?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do we have somebody sitting out in the lobby? Okay. All right, but you've let her stay in the atrium? Okay. Thank you. All right, well, ma'am, what I need for you to do is to speak with the city attorney. So I am gonna mute you again. I will check in with her and we'll see what we can do to get you accommodated, okay?
Well, why do I have to meet with an attorney?
Well, because she writes the charges for the city of Kentwood, and the
Oh.
city of Kentwood alleges that you gave false information to a police officer. If there is any
Correct.
bargain to be had in this matter, that would be through Miss Dawson and not through the court. And so I'll need you to speak with her. Miss,
Okay.
in fact, here she is right now. I have Chantel Higgins on my Zoom, Miss Dawson. She is actually in the atrium of the courthouse using Zoom because she recently came back from an out-of-state trip. So I'm going to go ahead and move her into a Zoom room with you right now so you can discuss her matter. Miss Higgins, because you
Yes.
are calling in and you are not using the Zoom app, you won't be able to move back from the breakout room. When you're done talking with Miss Dawson, what you'll have to do is disconnect and call back in, but I will watch for your phone number to come back in, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I see, do you need to talk with me, Miss Dawson?
I spoke to Mr. Taylor, okay?
Yes.
And he tells me that he has a permit, but is not able to show me the permit. So I was wondering if the court could confirm that his license is valid, or his permit, actually, because he has not taken the test.
I have status as valid.
Okay, that is what I needed to know. I will prepare a pretrial conference statement and send it over momentarily. I told him if his license permit was valid with the Secretary of State, I would reduce that charge to impeding. And then he would have to plead as charged to the fail to yield.
Okay. All right, well, we will keep an eye out for your form, but with that offer, I can go ahead and proceed.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
And I will go meet with Ms. Higgins.
Thank you. Wait, Miss Dawson, before you go. The court is calling the case of the city of Kentwood versus Daquan Taylor, case number 20-502750T. You are Daquan Taylor?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Taylor, you previously waived your right to a court-appointed attorney, or perhaps it was denied because of the nature of the charges and the lack of a likelihood of a jail sentence. So you met with Ms. Dawson today for a pretrial conference. She indicates that she extended an offer to you that is as follows. In exchange for your voluntary plea to the offense of impeding traffic, she will dismiss the drove while unlicensed charge. That is conditioned upon you having a valid permit, which I have confirmed that you do. But she did indicate to this court that you would have to accept responsibility for the civil infraction of failing to yield. Does that sound like the bargain that you discussed with Ms. Dawson? Oh no, we've lost him, and he was present and waiting with us for a long time. All right, Mr. Taylor, I see that you're back. Ms. Dawson, oh, she can't hear me. We thought we lost you for a second, Mr. Taylor. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, before we go back on the record, I'm going to connect with Ms. Dawson about whether or not something has happened with this. It looks like you're the civil infraction tinted windows. That doesn't appear to be part of the bargain being offered. Are you aware of that infraction?
I was not, Your Honor.
Make sure she is. And we'll find out what's gonna happen. So if you wouldn't mind sitting tight. I wanna make sure we've got this accurate. It's not reflected on the pretrial conference sheet that came over either, so apologize for the continued wait, but we'll sort it out soon.
Okay. And I would, if I could, would like to make notice as well that I was able to find my permit, and I have it right here in front of me.
I was able to confirm that it's valid, sir.
Okay.
I think you must have froze before you heard me say that on the record a minute ago. All right, I'll be right back with you.
Your Honor.
Ms. Dawson.
Ms. Higgins should be joining you. to
Oh,
put
hold
her
on, hold on,
plea-
hold on. Sorry, I had the system audio muted. Go ahead.
Ms. Higgins should be joining you to put her plea on the record. She has indicated to me that she would like to plead. Is there anyone else that I need to speak to? Because I've got 2 people waiting for me in my Zoom room.
Yes, there are 2 people physically present in the courthouse waiting for you. The first is Antonio Jones, who has been waiting for a little bit.
Okay.
You can take them at in whatever order works for you, but I do need to know about this tinted windows situation for Mr. Taylor.
I'm willing to dismiss the tinted windows. It's a minor offense.
All right, then we'll add that to the pretrial sheet.
Thank you. I would like to speak to Antonio Jones first.
All right. He is waiting for you in the physical prosecutor's office here, so I'm going to move you there. So
Okay.
he can see you on the laptop.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, the court is recalling the case of the City of Kentwood versus DeQuan Taylor, case number 20-50275OT. Mr. Taylor, welcome back. All right, if you could unmute yourself, sir. I did verify with the city attorney, your original charges included 2 civil infractions, the failed to yield, which this bargain requires you to accept responsibility for, and one of tinted windows, which along with the reduction from DWLS to impeding, the city attorney is willing to dismiss. And so the full bargain being extended is that because you have gotten a valid permit, in exchange for your voluntary plea to impeding traffic and accepting responsibility for failing to yield, the city attorney will dismiss the drove while unlicensed misdemeanor and the civil infraction of having tinted windows too dark for safety. Is that the bargain as you understand it, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you do not have an attorney, so I will ask you, do you recall when you were arraigned on this charge that you were advised of a number of rights, including your right to a trial?
Yes.
I do have a signed advice of rights form in here, which means we did go over all of your rights. If you tender a plea today and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is it your choice then to voluntarily waive your rights, including your right to a trial, in order to take advantage of the bargain being extended by the city attorney today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did anyone threaten you or promise you anything above and beyond what was stated on the record in terms of the plea in order to get you to enter a guilty plea today?
No, Your Honor.
Then as to the offense of impeding traffic, sir, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, and as to the offense of failing to yield, do you plead responsible or not responsible?
Responsible.
All right, sir, were you driving a vehicle in the city of Kentwood on July 24th of 2020?
Yes.
At that time, was your driver's license, well, at that time, did you have a valid license? Could you say that again, please? Sir, your audio is cut out.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes. I don't know, maybe you had your thumb over the receiver.
Okay.
Do you have a valid license on or around July 24th of 2020?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And was there a driving incident that included you failing to yield right away when a car was passing you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I do find a sufficient factual basis. I will accept your guilty plea and your responsibility for the failing to yield. Sir, I will assess fines and costs in this matter. Excuse me for a second. All right, Mr. Taylor, I am assessing fines and costs in your matter, and in doing so, I was just updated that you made payment on that tinted windows, even though I was advised that it was still showing valid. You had already paid off that ticket. Do you recall doing that?
Yes, it was when I came last time when I appeared before the court
So
last time.
here's what I'm going to do, because that was not immediately clear to me when we were speaking earlier, is I'm going to waive all but the required justice system fee on your impeding traffic offense, because you've already made payment on the tinted windows. And then Ms. Dawson just said that she would dismiss it. And so the only fee that I'm going to assess today for you is a $40 justice system fee. That will be on the impeding traffic offense. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Is this showing up on your behalf on all the payments that I did make? I made a payment amount up to $420 something. I'm not exactly sure what.
You paid all of your fines and costs on the fail to yield. So that is paid. So you don't owe anything more on that.
Okay.
And because Ms. Dawson was willing to waive the tinted windows, but you'd already paid on that as well. What we're going to do is we're going to apply that to your impeding so that you don't have an additional couple $100 worth of fines and costs in this matter. Okay. It's just the required $40 justice system fee.
Okay.
So we'll put that on your account, and I'm going to move you over to a cashier at this time so that you can make that payment.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your patience and your courtesy, Mr. Taylor. I appreciate it. I know it's been kind of a long afternoon.
No, that's fine.
Have a nice day.
You too.
You are unmuted.
All right, Ms. Higgins, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Chantel Higgins, case number 21-500210M. Ms. Higgins, the record indicates that you waived your right to a court-appointed attorney, and so you met today on your own with City Attorney Danielle Dawson.
Mhm.
I've been provided a pretrial conference statement that indicates in exchange for your voluntary plea and sentence to the offense of providing false information to a police officer, a 93-day misdemeanor, that the city attorney will recommend a sentence that does not include jail. Is that the bargain that you discussed with Ms. Dawson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and how do you want to proceed today, ma'am? Are you accepting that offer?
Yes.
All right, when you were here back in March,
Yes, I just want to get it over with.
well, I understand, but I want to make sure that you were provided your rights.
Yes, ma'am, by Judge William Kelly.
All right, so you were provided your rights, including your right to trial. If you offer a guilty plea today and I accept it, ma'am, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Correct.
All right, and it's your voluntary choice to waive all of your rights, including your right to a trial, in order to take advantage of the bargain being extended by the city attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone threaten you or promise you anything above and beyond what was placed on the record in terms of a plea bargain in order to get you to enter a guilty plea?
No.
All right, then as to the offense of providing false information to a police officer, ma'am, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, ma'am, I have to ask you some questions before I can accept your guilty plea. I'll take you back to on or around January 10th, 2021. On that day in the city of Kentwood, did you make contact with a Kentwood police officer?
As far as what do you mean contact? Yes, I was in the back of a police car, yes.
All right. And when you were speaking with the police officer, did you provide a name other than your own, a false name to that police officer?
Man. Yeah.
Okay. And did you understand that that police officer was acting in his lawful duties?
No.
You did not understand that he was,
We
You-
didn't get pulled over. We
police
wasn't in any
duty at
trouble.
that
We was
time?
at the gas station.
say again, ma'am?
I said we didn't get pulled over. We weren't in any trouble. We were at the gas station. I did not falsify any information. I don't know why he would lie on me. I'm just ready to get this over with.
All right. Well, ma'am, I'm asking you these
Yep.
because I have to
Yeah,
believe,
I
I have to
told-
believe that you are guilty of the crime that you are alleged to have committed.
Yep. I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
Well, I hear you, ma'am, but did you give a false name to a police officer?
Yeah.
And
That's what he said.
was that police officer in uniform?
Yep.
And did you know he was a police officer?
Yes.
And do you believe him to have been acting in his official capacity as a police officer?
No. We didn't get pulled over or anything. I don't understand why I'm even here today, but I'm just pleading guilty.
Okay. But in order for me to accept your guilty plea, I have to believe that you committed the offense of giving a false information to a police officer. And if you didn't know that it was a police officer acting in his lawful duties.
It was a police officer. He was in uniform, but I don't understand what the lawful duty was now.
Okay. Well, he was asking you what your name was in connection with a vehicle that was found damaged in a nearby parking lot.
Okay, a vehicle that has nothing to do with me.
Okay, but do you believe he was asking your name to try to determine more information about the situation?
I'm not sure, but we didn't get into any trouble. We didn't get pulled over. We didn't, so I just don't understand how we're in this situation today, but I just want it to be over with. So whatever question you ask me, I don't know. I guess, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't really understand the question, but
Well, he was acting as a police officer when he asked your name, correct?
Yes.
All right. Do you find a sufficient factual basis and will accept your guilty plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is there anything that you would like to share with the court before I proceed to sentencing?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, this file indicates that you are homeless. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are you working?
Not at the moment, but I have been looking for a job. Actually, I have an interview today. That's why it's just such an inconvenience that I'm here and I can't be in court. And I had to walk up here, and the job that I have is at a hotel. We'll have an interview at, and it's all the way down 28th Street.
Well, we'll get you out of here so you can get to your interview.
But no, at the moment I am not working.
So where are you
Like, I have-
staying? Are you just staying with friends?
Kind of, for the most part. My little sister just moved into her own place last week, so I just help her watch my niece. And, you know, I've been doing that for 2 years, almost 3 years, since my niece is about to be 3, and she works full time. So, you know, that's how I get my little income that I do have.
All right, ma'am, I am going to assess a sentence of fines and costs only in this matter.
And even though I can't come into court, I can come into, you know, the first room so I can put something on my fines today.
Right, you can make a payment, speak to the bailiff, he can take a credit card from you in order to get a payment made, or you can go online and fill out our payment plan form. Fines and
Okay.
costs total $425. That is the final sentence of the court. If you disagree with this court's decision, you can appeal it to the circuit court. Appeals must be taken within 21 days. If you need the assistance of an attorney appointed at public expense, you must request that attorney within 14. All right, ma'am.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. It was some workers coming through. I couldn't hear the last thing that you said.
I said, if you disagree with the court's decision, you have the right to appeal it. You can appeal it up to the circuit court. If you want an attorney to assist you with that, you can apply for a court-appointed attorney, but you have to do that.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But I heard you say something about 21 days.
Okay.
What
It was
about-
your right to appeal. And so, ma'am, I can actually move you into a breakout room right now with my cashier if you want to make that first payment, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good luck. Thank you. Mr. Oberholzer, what can I help you with?
Hello, Your Honor. I'm just here. Just got off the phone actually with Kiri Bridgeforth. So I'm just awaiting for him to log into Zoom here. He should be joining us momentarily. I believe he has to create a Zoom account. So hopefully soon he'll be logged in here. He was scheduled for a order to show cause hearing this afternoon.
Yes, I see that. All right, we will watch for him. And I think that I have a gentleman here in the courtroom waiting to meet with Miss Dawson. That might be all I have active at the moment. Let me ask you this. There were a couple of gentlemen here over the lunch hour, Mr. Overholzer, who I think we ran out of time with them. I have Justin Everett, case number 21-502010M. I have a pretrial conference statement that indicates it should be set for a plea at an alternate date. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. I just, Mr. Everett was waiting here for quite a few hours. We are intending to enter a guilty plea on that, but I indicated to him that he could leave for the day and we would set it for a guilty plea hearing just based on how backed up we were and how long he was waiting for.
That's fine. We will do that. Let's see. Miss Dawson, did you meet with Mr. Jones?
Yes, I did. Mr. Jones wanted additional time to pay off his tickets or to get his license actually. So I let him go.
Okay.
I
All right,
believe,
I do see that you sent a pretrial conference statement on that, and so we'll connect it with his file. I do have Mr. Zamora Vasquez, Raul Zamora Vasquez in the courtroom. Are you available to meet with him?
Yep.
All right, then I will ask the bailiff to move him into the prosecutor's office also.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. So is it the same situation with Mr. Moore and Mr. Juarez Tapia that we are setting those for second? Or I'm sorry, setting those for pleas, Mr. Oberholzer?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Moore is set for a plea. Would the court mind stating the second individual's name again?
Juarez Tapia?
Okay, I don't believe that I represent that individual.
No, Kurt does not. Ms. Perez represents Mr. Tapia, and Ms. Perez and I discussed earlier that he would be pleading to careless.
Okay. All right, we'll set that for another date, though. That's what, I got those forms. I wanted to make sure the individuals weren't somewhere waiting in the courtroom or in somebody else's Zoom corner, something like that.
Yeah, I don't have anybody in my Zoom. I think I've gotten through everyone.
Just so the court's aware as well, Your Honor, with regard to Mr. Moore, we are requesting that be set for an in-person hearing just because Mr. Moore is having incredible difficulties getting connected to Zoom. So I figured that would probably be the best way to proceed.
That's fine. Did you hear that on Mr. Moore? Okay. All right. I'm gonna take a quick break then.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Hey, Danielle, the judge
Hi.
should take a break.
Could we go off of Zoom and could I just have a conversation with the judge and Mr. Oberholzer very quickly?
I will see what the judge, how she wants to handle that, because maybe you guys could just go in a private, I do have one private waiting room set up that
That'll be fine.
has been in. But I wanted to take a minute and introduce you to our new criminal clerk.
Hi.
Her name is Glenda. She just started on Monday.
Okay.
So I am training her and working with her, but she will be the new criminal clerk.
Okay, so it's really nice to virtually meet you. I'm sure that someday we will see each other in person. Yeah, I guess anytime you email me, feel free to copy my assistant Ilya because she really manages my files. So, but welcome aboard.
All right, thank you. So I will go check with the judge and see how she wants to handle that conversation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Dawson, I talked to Judge Sterkenburg, and she is going, I'm going to send you an invite to Kurt's office, and then she's going to go in Kurt's office.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Hey Kurt,
Yeah.
do you automatically lose your license if you're arrested for an OWI?
No, so you're saying like before you plead guilty and that sort of thing?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
here's
so what,
Dawn.
yeah, generally what happens is, either the license is confiscated or it's destroyed. And then generally what happens is they issue a temporary driving permit so that while the case is pending, you can still drive just as long as you have that temporary permit with you. You just don't have that photo ID, which causes a lot of problem for people. So, a lot of times they need to go get a Michigan ID. But yeah, you can still drive as long as the case is pending. And then once the plea is entered, assuming that it's abstracted, you get notice within a couple weeks from Secretary of State with regard to when part suspension begins and restricted license and that sort of thing. Come in.
Okay, I'm gonna join your office now so that the three of us can talk, not on YouTube.
Perfect. Thank you.
appearing on my screen as iPhone. What is your name, please? It actually doesn't look like you have audio, and we don't see your video. So I'll ask you to connect with audio using the button on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. But if I don't see that happening in a couple of minutes, then I will remove you from the meeting and you can try logging back in and connecting with audio. There you go. I can see you, sir, but I need you to connect with audio. Nod your head if you can hear me.
Oh, good.
I'm going to send iPhone a chat. Perhaps you'll see that. Mr. Zamora Vasquez is meeting with Mr. Oberholzer at the moment, Ms. Dawson.
Perfect. I think that that's good.
Okay. All right, I've been chatting with iPhone and I think he's muted now, but if he unmutes, we may be able to hear him.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I sure can. We talked right through that. Sir, what is your name?
My name is Kyrie Bridgeforth, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Bridgeforth, you are represented by Mr. Oberholzer, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I know that he has already spoken to you today. He is meeting with another client, but once we get him back in the courtroom, we'll be able to call your case.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yep.
Your Honor, just real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
I will be submitting the pretrial forms with the FTAs that I have. I've been communicating with Mr. Pileman regarding the Salem Van Crichton matter. So even though he didn't appear in court, Mr. Pileman and I are still working through that. And I just received an email from Miss Guzman. Oh, that was on another matter. But
Wait, what was the first matter that you mentioned?
Van Crichton.
I don't see that on my docket for today.
You don't? He was supposed to appear at 10.
Oh, from 10 a.m. Okay, I was looking for this afternoon. Let's see. Okay, I do have that. Van Crichton. Okay, and then who else you said?
Well, I've got to look at the Zarat Alamos, Javier. I thought he was represented and he didn't appear today, so I just want to confirm. Oh, and I also spoke to Ms. Buswa about Mr. Williams, and it doesn't appear that he decided to join us today either.
No, we placed on the record that we would order him to show cause and gave a date. I think it was the 24th or the 26th. I don't have an appearance of counsel in Zarate almost. The record indicates he waived back on January 26th.
Okay. I do have in my notes that he had an appointment with the Secretary of State on April 21st. So maybe he didn't think he needed to come to court until after that. I don't know.
There
Weird.
was an email this morning about a Jacqueline trailer.
I did speak to her.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe that already came through and I didn't see it, which is fine. Looks like she,
I emailed that one.
we need to have her appear in person because of a learning disability.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay, otherwise, I think all the rest of them, I'll just submit my fail to appears and Your Honor can do with them what she wishes.
I will review them all for determination as to whether or not they fall under any noted exception to legislation requiring a hold on warrants for failure to appear. And then do what
I would rather have a resilient one.
ever needs to be done. I have a file here in front of me, Ms. Dawson, 21-3082OM. Defendant's name reads extended stay.
Yes. So that again is another ordinance enforcement violation. They were issued a citation on a first violation for failing to keep their sidewalks cleared. They have been warned several times, yet still did not clear their sidewalks. So at this point, because they failed to appear, I would say I would request that the court issue a default unless the court has received the $65 fine.
They were scheduled to be here at 11:10. A representative was supposed to be here at 11:10. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll look to see whether or not that was paid,
Yeah.
and then we can let it default. Mr. Genrich has been busy.
He generally is. I think he's getting kind of fed up with certain individuals.
All right. Well, go ahead and submit your FTAs and we will look through them.
Will do. Thank you.
Can you send them as one email?
Do you want me to request that?
Yes, please.
I have a request, Ms. Dawson.
Yes. What is that?
My clerk is requesting when you send the FTAs to send them as one email.
All right. I'll do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Oberholzer?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were in here and gone quickly. Are you ready to proceed on Mr. Zamora Vasquez?
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't sure if I was necessarily representing him for the plea hearing. I did talk with him though, and I do believe he wishes to enter a guilty plea, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I had my audio turned off on my system. Were you talking about Mr. Zamora Vasquez?
Yeah, correct, Your Honor.
All right, and so I'm going to appoint you on the record to represent him. You've already spoken to him, but will I be getting a pretrial conference sheet? I'm told I have it right here. Let's see. Are you ready to proceed or are you meeting with someone else, Kurt?
I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay. I do have Mr. Bridgeforth who is waiting to speak with you as well.
Great, Your Honor. Yes, I do. Perfect.
I have it right here. Some more Vasquez. Okay. All right, if you want to come into the courtroom, we'll do this now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Zamora Vasquez. All right. Sir, you can come on up to the lectern. The court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Raul Zamora Vasquez, case number 21-50186. This matter was scheduled for a pretrial conference this afternoon. Mr. Zamora Vasquez previously requested court-appointed counsel and was denied due to too much discretionary income. However, upon further review of the file, it appears to this court necessary, and so I am appointing the Kent County Office of the Defender to represent Mr. Zamora Vasquez. So he appears this afternoon with attorney Kurt Overholzer representing him. Have you had a chance to meet with Mr. Zamora Vasquez, Mr. Overholzer?
I have, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
And is there a plea bargain being extended by the city in this matter?
I do believe so, Your Honor. The offer that that I discussed with Ms. Dawson, Your Honor, is as follows. Mr. Zamora Vasquez is before the court on charge of operating while intoxicated first offense. The plea agreement we discussed is as follows. If Mr. Zamora Vasquez was to plead guilty to that charge, the people of the city of Kentwood are recommending no jail, upfront jail, Your Honor. And I have had a chance to discuss that offer with Mr. Zamora Vasquez. I do believe he wishes to go forth and enter a guilty plea with regard to that offer here this afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, sir, do you understand the bargain that's being presented by the
Yes.
city? All right, and so the offer is a recommendation of no jail for this offense in exchange for your voluntary plea of guilty to operating while intoxicated first offense. Is that the way you want to proceed today, to take that offer?
Yes.
All right, sir, when you were here for arraignment, you were advised of your rights, including your right to a trial. Have you discussed those rights with your attorney today? All right, if you tender a plea and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. And it is your voluntary choice to waive your trial rights in order to take advantage of the bargain being extended by the city? Did anyone threaten you or promise you anything above and beyond what was stated on the record in terms of a plea bargain in order to get you to enter a guilty plea? All right, then as to the offense of operating while intoxicated, first offense, a 93-day misdemeanor. Sir, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? All right, before I can accept your guilty plea, I will have to have your attorney ask you some questions. Although, Mr. Overholzer, I see you looking at your phone trying to get to the police report. Would it be easier if the court inquired?
Your Honor, I think I have all the information necessary for me to inquire.
All right, you may go ahead.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Mr. Zamora Vasquez, back on March 22nd, 2020, were you operating your vehicle within the city of Kentwood, Kent County, Michigan? Thank you. And on that, around that date and around that location, had you previously consumed alcohol prior to operating that vehicle on that day? And based on the alcohol that you consumed prior to operating the vehicle, did that alcohol materially or substantially impair your ability to operate the motor vehicle? Did it visibly affect your ability to operate the motor vehicle?
Sir, can you step a little bit closer to the microphone as your attorney is asking these questions of you?
When you were arrested after field sobriety tests were conducted by police officers, correct, sir? And after you were arrested on this charge, you were taken to the Kent County Police Department, correct? And when you arrived to the police department, you took a data master breathalyzer test, correct? Yes. And were the results of that data master breathalyzer test of 0.16 and a 0.15 blood alcohol content? Yeah. Did you have any reason to doubt the accuracy of those readings of the 0.16 and the 0.15? Okay, thank you very much. Your Honor, I do believe we have established a sufficient factual basis in order to take the plea at this time, Your Honor.
I agree, and I will accept your guilty plea, sir. Before I sentence you, I want to know more about you and your relationship to alcohol. So I'm referring you to a substance abuse evaluation. When we're done, I'll have you stop at the counter to get some information on where you can get that done, and they will give you a sentence date, so you'll come back for sentencing. I also want to confirm some information with you since I have appointed a public defender. Is your address 3170 32nd Street Southeast, Apartment 2C? All right, and what is your phone number?
616-375-9057.
All right, thank you very much. I am gonna make sure this gets into the file so that Mr. Overholzer has all of your information.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I'm gonna give you a slip with his contact information, sir, so that you can reach out to him if you need him, if you have any questions between now and then. But you'll stop at the front counter to get your information on the substance abuse assessment and when to come back for sentencing. Do you have any questions for me? All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Overholzer?
Yes, Your Honor.
I wanted to give that to your client. It's just a little tag with your information.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
All right, then, Kurt, I'll put Mr. Bridgeforth in your Zoom room.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Are we just waiting for Mr. Bridgeforth? There's nobody else there?
As far as I know, Ms. Dawson, I don't see anyone else here. Were you able to conduct a pretrial on Mr. Bridgeforth?
Not fully. Because he's
were
set
you-
for a show cause.
Right, so, give me a second. We're working through this new legislation.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we have determined is going to be most efficient is rather than wait 48 hours and then enter a warrant, we're ordering individuals to show cause. We're putting that show cause date, the next date that is if they fail for a pretrial, it will be the next pretrial date. If they fail for a sentencing, it would be the next sentencing date or whatever the next event is. And so if we've ordered them in to show cause on failing to appear for a pretrial, that way a pretrial can be conducted.
Right.
And the matter can be moved along. So when you get notices then of show cause, you should be prepared to conduct a pretrial.
Okay.
All right, which maybe we weren't clear when we sent out the information that that's what we were going to be doing. Or maybe it is just that there have been so many changes to the law that as we get through this, there are a couple hiccups and bumps. But that's our intention, is to try to move things along as expediently as possible.
Okay, yeah, no, that works for me. I do have his file. I'm prepared to conduct a pretrial. It's just Kurt was meeting with his previous client, so we got interrupted, so.
All right, well, I just saw him walk into his office. So
Perfect.
he'll be meeting with Mr. Bridgeforth and then, well, let's ask him. You want to meet with him first? Maybe that would be wisest.
I think that might, actually.
Okay. All right, well then, you two both have the defender's office Zoom room. I'm gonna move Mr. Bridgeforth back out here.
Okay,
Or back into the waiting room.
thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Should just be the two of you in there then, and we'll see you in a minute.
Thank you.
You looking for your client, Kurt? I moved him into the waiting room. And so are you ready to meet with him?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I was muted there.
That's fine. I will move him back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling the case of the City of Kentwood versus Curie Bridgeforth, case number 16-506060M. You are Curie Bridgeforth?
Mr. Bridgeforth, it looks like you're muted again. You'll just need to unmute yourself if you could, please.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
I can. You are Curie Bridgeforth?
Yes, ma'am. Kyrie.
Kyrie, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to miss.
It's okay.
All right,
It's okay.
Mr. Bridgeforth, you were ordered to show cause today, which is this court's remedy for a defendant's failure to appear. It looks like you were scheduled to appear for a pretrial with this court on March 31st, and you did not appear. And so we ordered you to show cause today. Why didn't you appear last week?
Ma'am, I was incarcerated in Indiana. I have another warrant too. I was at like 2 different jails, ma'am, and then I had got caught some little COVID symptoms and everything. I'm not trying to make no excuses, but that's honestly what happened. It's public information that you guys could see that I was incarcerated March 25th to April 1st. I gotta turn myself in the Monday on the 19th because I still have another bench warrant for an open pending felony case that I had that's outgoing in Grand Rapids as well.
Who is requiring you to report on April 19th?
No, I'm just because the only way I guess to get another because I was out on bond. You had gave me like a PR bond, and I think I stayed in there. I didn't even bond. I stayed in there like 4 days till I even bonded out, man, because I was in there on the felony case.
Okay.
So I had got out on bond, and when I had got locked up, I guess I had basically violated my bond's terms and conditions because I had a court appearance on the 25th as well, and that's the day I had got incarcerated, unfortunately, and I'm just going through that right now. So I have on April 29th, I have a bond forfeiture hearing out of Grand Rapids, but I'm just going to turn myself in on the 19th. Like I said, I had like COVID symptoms, so I didn't want to just try to infect anybody or nothing because I was bounced to 2 different jails.
Okay, sir, I will find that is good cause. Well, hold on. I will find that is good cause. I'm not even going to reserve a ruling on criminal contempt. We will find that the order to show cause is satisfied. Which brings us to the next piece of what we need to do in this case, which is resolve the pretrial conference that we hope to conduct today by scheduling your order to show cause date on the same date that our city attorney is here. So I've been provided a statement that indicates the city is willing to reduce your false info charge to one of disorderly conduct in exchange for your voluntary plea and sentence. They're further recommending no jail, and they are not objecting to fines and costs only. Mr. Overholzer, you represent Mr. Bridgeforth. Is that the offer that you discussed with him?
It is, Your Honor. I do believe Mr. Bridgeforth wishes to enter a guilty plea with regard to that offer. Additionally, Your Honor, Mr. Bridgeforth and I did discuss his trial rights, specifically if Mr. Bridgeforth is to enter a guilty plea with regard to that offer. I do believe Mr. Bridgeforth understands that he would be forever giving up and waiving all rights to take this false information to a police officer charged to trial, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Overholzer. Sit tight just one moment. All right, Mr. Bridgeforth, is it your intention then to tender a guilty plea to the offense, misdemeanor offense of disorderly conduct today in order to take advantage of the offer being extended by the city?
That is correct, ma'am.
All right, and do you understand that if you tender a plea and the court accepts it, there will not be a trial of any kind?
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware.
All right, did anyone threaten you or make you any promises above and beyond what is stated in the plea bargain to get you to enter a guilty plea today?
No, ma'am.
All right, then as to the offense of disorderly conduct, a 90-day misdemeanor, sir, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Plead guilty, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Oberholzer, is there anything that you would like to share with the court before I proceed to sentence? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I need to know, Mr. Bridgeforth, what is it that you did that makes you guilty of the offense of disorderly conduct?
I guess I don't know I don't know the behavior of the contents of the disorderly conduct, to be honest with you, man. But I'm agreeing to the plea deal you guys offer.
Well, then let me have your attorney
Well,
of you so that we have a sufficient factual basis and it can accept your plea.
Your Honor, would the court have
Okay.
any objection if I establish a factual basis based on the originally charged charge here?
Not at all.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Mr. Bridgeforth, back on May 6, 2016, were you within the city of Kentwood, Kent County, Michigan, sir?
Yes, sir.
On that date, at that location, did a police officer make contact with you at the extended stay hotel where you were at that date and at that location?
Yes, sir.
And did you know that that police officer was legally executing his duties as a law enforcement officer?
Yes, sir.
And did you provide that law enforcement officer with a false name on that date?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bridgeforth. Your Honor, I do believe we have established a sufficient factual basis in order to take the plea here, Your Honor.
Thank you. I will accept the factual basis, sir, and I will find you guilty. And now, Mr. Oberholzer, I'd be pleased to hear your comments as they relate to sentencing.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I'm very, very happy that Mr. Bridgeforth is here this afternoon, Your Honor. After he wasn't here for the first pretrial conference, I'm always concerned when clients aren't there for that. But very happy he's here this afternoon, Your Honor. He was incarcerated at the Porter County Jail in Indiana. He does have cases pending down in Indiana right now, and as Mr. Bridgeforth also stated, he also has a case pending up here in Kent County, Michigan, out of the 17th Circuit. So he certainly has a lot going on right now. He's really looking to get his legal problems behind him, though, Your Honor. And so he's certainly here accepting responsibility for this case. It is an older case from back in 2016. So I know that Mr. Bridgeforth is going to hopefully sleep a little better at night, knowing that at least he's starting to take care of these things. And so with that being said, Your Honor, I would just ask the court respectfully to go along with the plea agreement that's been negotiated here, to not sentence Mr. Bridgeforth to any upfront jail at this time, and to assess fines and costs as the court deems appropriate, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Oberholzer. Mr. Bridgeforth, what is it in your life that is compelling you now at this time to clear up all these old outstanding matters?
Like I don't know if you remember when we spoke, I told you I was being like just being a bit irresponsible, ma'am. I'm 31 years old, ma'am, and like when these occurred, I I wasn't even thinking. I was just rebellious at the time. I just didn't even care about the outcome or whatever. But like now, how I'm set up, financially in my life right now with my jobs and stuff, and like I have a sense of responsibility, and that and for me to be a strong, pillar of my household and to the community, I can't just keep getting locked up like this, man. Like it's childish.
Well, I appreciate that introspection, Mr. Bridgeforth. Understanding and knowing your circumstances and wanting to better them is a tremendous step in the right direction. And so, where are you working?
I do like groundscaping, landscaping.
Okay.
So I had to do that out of Nebraska. But like how is this going right now, ma'am? Like with this COVID and stuff, like it's like, and then these court cases, I don't even know where to begin. But I have a stable job, ma'am. It's just I gotta just get over this with these court situations, and I don't even know what I don't even know about the probation thing that I got going on down there. I just want to
We're going to talk about that in a couple minutes.
yeah, I'd rather just get that out the way too. Like how much I owe on that. Like I just like all this old stuff. I'm just trying to just get it out the way, man.
And I know, and I appreciate that, but I'm trying to figure out. You said you have a stable job. Is that a stable job doing groundscaping?
Yes, man. And I also work at my brother's tattoo shop.
Oh, you're an artist?
No, I'm not an artist. I'm more like an apprentice. I just help them out along right now. Just the little shortcomings right now, but I just help them out around the shop. Like I take IDs and do the little waivers and pass out face masks and whatever I could do. Help clean up, sanitize the building.
Okay. Do you have any kids, Mr. Bridgeforth?
Yes, I have two kids, but I take care of my other two kids, my brother kids as well. My brother who passed in 2017.
I'm sorry for your loss. All right, sir, we are going to talk about the probation matter. We're going to do that after I finish sentencing in this. I will comply with the city's recommendation and sentence you to fines and cost only.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm. Fines and costs in this matter total $625. When we're all done with your probation matter, remind me and I can place you into a breakout room with my cashier so you can make payment or payment arrangements. That is the final sentence of the court. If you disagree with this court's decision, you may appeal it to the circuit court within 21 days. All right. Have a little insight here on the probation matter. Sir, you were previously placed on probation with this court for the offense of driving with your license suspended. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, Nancy. This is the case of Kyrie Bridgeforth, case number 15-503-570T. Mr. Bridgeforth, you were previously placed on probation, and it is alleged that you violated the terms of that probation in a number of different ways. You were arraigned on those violations, of which there are 5. I think from the Kent County Jail. Were you in the jail when we did your arraignment?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
You were scheduled for a contested hearing on those allegations on March 31st, and you did not appear. But I know now that you did not appear because you were in custody in the state of Indiana.
That's correct.
All right. I will recall the warrant that we entered. Mr. Oberholzer, have you discussed these allegations with your client, and does he intend to proceed with a contested hearing?
I have not discussed the allegations with Mr. Bridgeforth. I am aware that I was appointed to represent him on this matter, Your Honor, so I could have a conversation with Mr. Bridgeforth right here, right now, if the court would allow that.
Absolutely. Do you have a copy of the petition?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, one more time, Mr. Bridgeforth. You should still have the invitation to move into a breakout room with Mr. Oberholzer. I will have him join you there, and then when you are concluded, you can come back to the court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Hello, ma'am.
Is there anyone else for me?
Oh. Say again.
Is there anyone else for me?
No, there is no one in the courtroom. I don't think there's anyone in the lobby. There's no one.
No one's in my Zoom room.
We did receive your FTAs, so we are going through them now, and
deal.
I think you can probably go.
All right. Well, if you do need me, feel free to give me a call on my cell phone. I will be available until, well, I'm available all evening, let's be real, but I'm available until 5.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Dawson.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
When are folks start practicing ours?
All right, we are back on the record in the matter of Kyrie Bridgeforth, case number 15-50357OT. You know, all that time we sat here and it didn't occur to me to turn on the Polycom so we can see Miss Franks, who is present in the courtroom. Mhm. All right, Mr. Oberholzer, can you hear me?
I can, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, let's get our video camera swung around here. All right, this matter was set for a contested hearing on probation violation allegations, which I know are on a petition dated August 31st of 2015. In this matter, we had not seen you since then, Mr. Bridgeforth. How does your client want to proceed today, Mr. Oberholzer?
Your Honor, at this time, I do believe my client wishes to enter a guilty plea with regard to these violations. And furthermore, Your Honor, Mr. Bridgeforth and I did discuss his rights to a contested hearing. Mr. Bridgeforth does understand that if he is to enter a guilty plea with regard to those violations, he would be forever giving up and waiving all rights to have a contested hearing regarding those violations, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Oberholzer, but I am going to strike allegation number 2, failing to pay fines and costs, because it's my understanding that the bond paid covered those and that there's a zero balance on this account.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bridgeforth, as to the allegation that you violated the conditions of your probation by failing to appear before this court on June 22nd, 2015 and July 13th, 2015, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty? I'll need you to unmute.
Guilty, Your Honor.
And as to the allegation that you violated your probation by failing to serve 5 days in jail ordered at the outset when you were sentenced, you failed to report. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And as to the allegation that you failed to change the address on your license and provide proof to your probation officer?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And that you failed to clear at least one suspension off of your license per month and verify?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bridgeforth, I'm not going to belabor the point. You've been here with this court this afternoon. I recognize that this case goes back as far as the last one we saw you on, farther even. And you've shared with this court a change of heart that's come with age and wisdom, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bridgeforth, you never appeared and met with Miss Franks, correct?
No, I never, not to my knowledge, ma'am, no.
Right, and so it's been this court's experience with you over the last couple of weeks that you are trying very hard to clear up these old matters. And this is one of them. This was for a driving while license suspended, revoked, or denied charge. And I understand you might be even close to getting your license. How close are you?
120, just a reinstatement fee, ma'am. The reason why the driver responsibility, that was like a bar hole for me getting my license, because I owe like 30 grand. But like in like October, I think of 2018, I got a letter from the state of Michigan saying that they stopped the driver responsibility and was to pay $125 for reinstatement. But when I tried to do that, I had like, I guess all the seatbelt tickets and the little minor infractions I had due to me getting pulled over, and it totaled up to like $600. And I paid that November 2nd of 2020, ma'am, to be precise. And I paid that off. So now it's just like, it's just a money thing right now. So I just need to essentially pay $125 and I will obtain a valid license, ma'am.
All right, sir, do you know who was a big part of getting those driver's responsibility fees waived?
Well, my wife and just just working, trying to just get it off, man.
No,
Honestly.
no, the 30 grand.
Oh, the state of Michigan, ma'am.
Yeah, Judge Kelly, my predecessor, the judge who was here, who placed you on probation, fought
All
long
right.
and hard for those fines to no longer be a burden to individuals such as yourself, because they were a tax on the poor, essentially, and a barrier to you being a legal driver. He was a huge part of the movement to have those
Oh
invalid.
yeah, I thank Judge Kelly for that. I know he probably got tired of seeing me when he did, cause that driving was, cause I was like, how can I? You're right. It was just like it was you couldn't get a job or nothing, like, cause how would you get back and forth to work? And it's a lot of crime going on, and you worried about somebody. I could see if you was drunk driving or anything, like, but I don't know. That's my whole theory on it. But thank you, Judge Kelly. Tell him I said thanks.
I will, the next time I see him. I'm gonna ask your probation officer to share with me her comments and her recommendation, and then I'll let Mr. Oberholzer speak on your behalf before I impose my sentence today. Ms. Franks?
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Richworth was actually on probation with probation officer Lynn Smith, who has since retired. I have never met with Mr. Richworth.
Ms. Franks, can you speak closer to the microphone? I think Mr. Oberholzer for sure is having a difficult time hearing you. It is on, but if you could make sure you're directing towards the microphone.
So Mr. Richworth was actually on probation with probation officer Lynn Smith, who has since retired. I have never met with nor have I spoken with Mr. Richworth in the past. I'm just going by based on Ms. Smith's notes along with previous evidence I've received on new charges and new pending charges. So I will say that he has cleared, as far as I know, those 6 assessments off of life. So I do commend him on that. I know he is trying to clear this stuff up and figure things out. However, this is such an old case. My recommendation would be to go along with Ms. Smith's recommendation, which would be to serve the minimum of the 5 days that he failed to serve at the very beginning of his sentence. And I would also recommend some of the suspended jail time as well.
What she's referring to, sir, is your probation order includes 30 days suspended jail time in addition to the 5 days. The theory was you would serve the 5 days, you would be on probation, do everything that you needed to do, and complete probation successfully. But if you failed to complete probation successfully, you would do an additional 30 days in jail. I recognize it might have been a while since you saw that probation order. Your signature is on it, and it did include that 30-day suspended sentence. Mr. Oberholzer, I'd be pleased to hear your comments.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Well, Your Honor, Mr. Bridgeforth is before the court, absolutely accepting responsibility. Again, Mr. Bridgeforth is looking to get all of these old matters behind him and move forward in his life, and hopefully, not be before any courts here moving forward. So he's working hard to do that, Your Honor. So he understands that he didn't do what he needed to do on probation here. And I think he's just grateful to, get these things behind him at this point, Your Honor. As I stated before, when the court called the previous case, Mr. Bridgeforth is set currently to report to the Kent County Jail this April 19th, so he can address his bench warrant on his other case he has pending here in Kent County. So he will be reporting to the Kent County Jail on that date. I do believe that when he was arraigned on this probation violation, Your Honor, a few weeks ago or so, that this court did issue a $500 personal recognizance bond. Mr. Bridgeforth did indicate to me, however, that after that bond was ordered by this court, he wasn't able to bond out right away. He was being held on other matters, I believe. So there was a period, I believe, of at least 4 days where he was still incarcerated after he was arraigned on this. So we would certainly ask the court to give Mr. Bridgeforth credit for any time that he did serve before he actually was released from Kent County Jail. I do believe that to be possibly 4 days, Your Honor. And then again, as Mr. Bridgeforth stated, he's made really great efforts towards, paying off those tickets that he did incur He just needs to go pay that $125 reinstatement fee. And finally, he'll be where he wanted to be a number of years ago in terms of getting that valid license, Your Honor. I don't know, Your Honor, if Mr. Bridgeforth has been before the court on any other probation violations concerning this case. I note that, he didn't do what he needed to do with regard to probation. I don't know if he ever reported to his probation officer, but just with regard to the new legislation, Your Honor, I do know that the court, in order to revoke probation, I do believe there needs to be at least repeated technical violations. Or I know that if the probationer requests that probation be revoked, the court would be able to do it then. But just for the record, Your Honor, we have no objection at this time if this court is to revoke probation, just given how old this case is, and Mr. Bridgeforth certainly wants to get it behind him. So I suppose with that being said, Your Honor, again, we would ask for credit for at least the 4 days that he served. And then just noting that he is set to report on to the Kent County Jail on April 19th, we would just want the court to be aware of all that information and determining an appropriate sentence for Mr. Bridgeforth here this afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Overholzer. Mr. Bridgeforth, we've talked quite a while today, and we talked previously.
Yes, we have.
Is there anything else that you would like me to consider before I impose sentence?
No, ma'am. Just thank you for working with me and being very understandable, ma'am. And I'm just ready to, just to man up and deal with it, ma'am, honestly.
I understand, and I appreciate your transparency, Mr. Bridgeforth. Mr. Overholzer raises an interesting point, and that is that the law did change on April 1st to create some protection for probationers in regards to probation being revoked and or the maximum sentence that could be imposed upon a probation violation. But I will note that we have it from the Supreme Court Administrative Office, Mr. Overholzer, that technical violations can be contained within the same petition. And so as Mr. Bridgeforth pled guilty to allegations 1, 3, 4, and 5, he has 4 technical violations. I will add that he was ordered in on this petition October 1st of 2015, failed to appear, a bench warrant was entered. He was subsequently ordered in again on December 1st of 15, failed to appear in a new bench warrant issue. He appeared and was arraigned on them from jail February of 2016, pled not guilty, but failed to appear for the probation violation hearing that was set in a couple of weeks later in 2016, and then is back here again. And I don't mean to, Mr. Bridgeforth, it's not my intention in saying all of those things to make you feel ashamed or to give you grief about it. You know that you didn't appear,
Oh yeah, absolutely, ma'am. It happened, and
it did, and here you are, and here we are.
So
the court is left with, what do I do with Kyrie Javon Bridgeforth? And so I do believe that there is a sufficient number of technical violations in this case to allow for sentencing up to the maximum available under the law for the offense of driving with your license suspended, revoked, or denied, which would be 93 days in jail. I will also note that your probation order contains a suspended 30-day sentence along with the 5 days that you were initially ordered to serve. But there are many different purposes inherent in sentencing. And so when you were ordered to probation, one of the primary goals, I'm certain, of Judge Kelly was to see you become a valid driver. And the terms imposed were to help rehabilitate you to legal driving status. On your own, you have made some effort towards that, and you are taking responsibility for these old actions, which this court appreciates. I further understand that you have other matters that you are working to resolve right now, and your humility in appearing before this court is noted. Sir, you grew up in the time since you were first here before Judge Kelly, and Sometimes, for some people, it is a harder road than others. But I have faith and confidence that you're not a bad guy for failing to appear on a driving ticket, and that you will put this and your other smaller matters behind you. I don't know the full extent of what you're facing, but I appreciate that you are facing it head on at this time so that you can be, as you stated for this court, a pillar within your family and someone that your children look up to and who can use as a role model. So it is the sentence of this court that your probation is revoked. Sir, I'm going to sentence you to serve 5 days in jail, as was originally part of your sentence. That is because it was originally part of your sentence, and I will allow you to report on April 19th for that. Additionally, I am going to sentence you to 5 more days for failing to complete the other terms of your probation. But against those 5 days, I will apply 3 days of credit. I cannot apply the credit for him staying in once the personal recognizance bond was issued, Mr. Oberholzer, but I did take it into consideration in giving him only 5 days instead of 30. So it will be a total of 10 days with credit for 3 days served. You'll report on April 19th to the Kent County Jail. You'll serve this along with whatever other matters that you were serving. It will be concurrent. And when you have finished that term, sir, you will be done with this matter in this court and all matters in this court, I believe. And then hopefully it will be a long time before you and I see each other again.
Absolutely. I don't want to see you on these terms, ma'am, ever
Like a
again.
perfectly lovely individual, but I would appreciate if you were on the straight and narrow and didn't have to come and visit me here at the courthouse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I strongly agree as well, ma'am.
All right, your fines and costs are paid. That is the final sentence of the court. If you disagree with the court's decision, you may appeal it to the circuit court. Appeals must be taken within 21 days. You have 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney. We are all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes.
You're all set, Mr. Bridgeforth. You can go ahead and log off now, okay, sir?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep, no problem, Mr. Bridgeforth. Good luck.
All right. Yep. Take care.
Anything else, Mr. Oberholzer?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I think that's it for today here, surprisingly.
All right, well, I'm going to, here,